Halligan here on NRL Insider. Joining me, Ben Murdoch-Masila. Well, it seems like it's been forever, but finally they let you back into the country. This is not New Zealand, this is actually Australia. Tamworth. I mean, it's been quite a journey getting back here, hasn't it?
No, it's been pretty tough. Situation over in England wasn't letting me come back, so the club found ways to bring myself and my family home, so we appreciate that, yeah. And
yourself and your family, so your wife and your daughter, so you fly late December, I suppose, into Sydney, and hello, here's our quarantine. Nice room, bit of a balcony, wasn't quite so bad?
No, it wasn't too bad. I think we're just eager to get back and settle in. The quarantine wasn't too bad. We had a balcony and the club equipped it with a gym in there, so kept me and the wife busy, and yeah, we just stuck an iPad in front of the little one and she enjoyed herself, yeah.
And then I guess it was time to spend some time with your family who had relocated to Sydney when you were at the Tigers some time ago, so you started to get some whānau back around you?
Yeah, I had a week with the family before we come into camp, and the wife and daughter stayed behind just to catch up on everything, and my daughter's pretty much missed out on a lot of family while she was over in England. She grew up in England, so it was good for her to see faces she hasn't seen before, so yeah.
And Murdoch-Masila, the hyphenated name, obviously mum and dad, a little bit of Scottish heritage in there, and of course Kiwi Tongan as well.
Yeah, mum's Murdoch, she's got a bit of Scottish in her, and Masila's my dad, he's Tongan as well, yeah. Okay.
Otahu Haro, back in the day. There was three Murdoch-Masila boys running around the streets there.
Yeah, no, I was just two at the time. The older brother's not into sports, so yeah. Otahu Blackwell Court. Yeah. And yeah, got some fond memories down there. Enjoyed my time there as well.
Does it seem like such a long time ago that you probably didn't have any shoes on and you run around the tar seal there?
When you think about it now, it does feel like a long time ago, but those memories are still vivid, yeah. And I enjoy replaying them every time I think about, well, now I'm here at the club, those memories keep coming back, so it's good.
The Warriors only entered the competition in 1995, and you're a real youngster then. When you're playing league, and who were your idols back then? Who did you follow?
Big Ali was a big superhero for me when I was young. I remember coming into a rugby club where Mum was working, and one of his boots was getting auctioned off, and I told Mum to get it. So yeah, kind of wore those for a bit. And,
so you wore Ali's boots?
Yeah.
Oh, how cool!
Yeah, when I could fit him, obviously.
Yeah. But, he had a big foot, so yeah, it took some growing to get into those.
14 or 15s, but yeah, that was good. Yeah.
I don't think we've seen anyone in rugby league hold the football like he did. I mean, Arwen Gutenbill actually had it in his game as well, but Ali, he could do it with both hands, I reckon.
Yeah, 100%. Followed him here while he was in New Zealand, and then I think I just missed him when I went over to the UK, but his name was pretty big over there as well, so yeah, it was good to actually follow his movements as well.
Coming up through school, age group teams, some of the guys you knocked about with and played against as a teenager?
I grew up with Isaac Liu, who's at the Roosters now. He was at Otahu as well, and we kind of moved to Australia together. We attended Kibra Park High School, and played in the Rival Life together over there, and then we kind of moved to Tigers together as well, and then a few years went on and he went his own way to the Roosters, and now he's a household name, so it's pretty cool to think where he's come from as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's other few boys, Jordan Kahu at Kibra Park as well.
Kibra Park had a real history. I mean, Benji sort of was highlighted, Benji Marshall highlighted for the most famous, I guess, to come out of it from New Zealand, from Whakatane to Kibra Park, and then win a premiership and what have you. But there was so many others along the way as well, as you mentioned. What was it about Kibra Park? Did the boys, I know they played good footy, but was it just that there was a good nucleus of guys there?
Yeah, I owe my life to that school. They saved my life from being a big boy as well. But when I got there, you see the calibre that the boys that come through there, Benji, Greg Eastwood, Ringy Chase. They were always showing videos on them who come through as well. But yeah, I'm not too sure why they kept those sort of the boys looking in and looked inviting. But yeah, I'm not too sure why it was so successful.
Why the Tigers? You mentioned Ice before. Exactly, you and yourself go there. Were they a team you'd wanted to go to? Did you they had Chris Lawrence, the likes of Lottie Takeri? They'd come off a 2005 premiership with Tim Sheens. Did you just see that as the Tigers as being, the best option, the best pathway?
At the time, I think Kibra Park was involved with the West Tigers system, and I think they got the pick of the litter, like I said before, and a few of the boys from Kibra Park where I was playing with, we all ended up going down to Sydney for training and that.
Well, at the time, like 2008, 2009, Ivan Cleary's coaching the Warriors, and there's Ruben Wickie and Simon Mannering, and any chance to come back at that stage? Was there any little whispers, maybe we might be able to get a little bit of a gig back home?
Not at that time, no. I think I was just coming up and I was just finding my feet as a youngster, and I was enjoying myself at the West Tigers as well, so that was no-brainer there.
Now, your debut was rather a unique one. And not too many people debut in a finals match. Tell us about that. It's your first year, it's 2010. Yeah. You're in the big smoke of Sydney. Life's pretty fast moving, and finals is everything in September.
Well, at the start of that year, I was almost about to make my debut for West Tigers. It was out of me and Andrew Feed at the time, and obviously the big fella got the call up, and I just played the 20s throughout the year, and towards the end of the back end, the NRL squad just told me to come in for training, and didn't think anything of it, and I just did my day. And then at the end, they were talking about possibly making my debut in the semi-finals against Sydney Roosters, and I think my heart just dropped, man, and just didn't know what to say, and I just said, "Oh, thanks," and just kind of walked out. And the big day came, and man, I think it was 80,000 people, and I was the first subby to come on off the bench, and yeah, just kind of went on from there.
It was so unique. You're not even listed in the full-time squad for the Tigers at the start of 2010, and here you are playing in a semi-final at the back end of the year. That's quite a rise. Your asset, was speed and skill on the edge as a back rower. Mm-hmm. What did Tim Sheens actually say to you? What was his instructions?
Got to think now, but he's not too. He wasn't too bad. He was just saying, just work hard and listen to Benji. Benji was my halfback at the time, and yeah, just kind of listened to Benji and just told me what to do, and I just kind of did it. But yeah, it's just funny thinking about it now. It was so long ago, but very vivid. Mm.
Was football easy back then? Do you think it was easy back then? Do you think it's complicated now?
No, I was just young, still fresh. Yeah. Nervous being a semi-final as well, and when you think about it now, it was pretty tough. There was a lot of older guys just running around, and just all your childhood heroes as well.
Yep. Mm. Ben, you played a bit over 50 games in three and a half years for the Tigers there, but there was a period at the end of 2012 when you played for the junior Kiwis. And I'm going to just mention some names in that forward pack here, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, I'm talking Jason Taumalolo, Tohu Harris, Josh Papali, Siosiwa Takiaho, Kenny Bromwich. What a pack.
I know.
It's no wonder you beat the Kangaroos, who were, you know, chock-a-block full of talent too. But with that sort of pack, that's just enormous, isn't it?
Nah, it's awesome. Just hearing those names now and what they've accomplished in the game at the moment, it's just scary that I was running around with them back then, and we were just kids too, and just enjoying ourselves. But
who was kingpin back then? I mean, in your 20s, you know, was Jason Taumalolo off the rails, like, go on this way, boys, or Tohu, or...
Jace is, to be fair, he's really mature now, but back then he was, he just wanted to slap him, mate. He was a little joker, man. He was a real young guy back then. But I think Tohu was in camp, was a leader. So yeah.
Tohu was sort of pretty new to rugby league then, because he'd come through the sort of rugby union ranks of the Hawke's Bay and what have you, and obviously only been at Melbourne for a little while as well. So yeah. Towards the back end of the Tigers period there, some injuries started creeping into and probably, you know, nullified the amount of games you could play. So, I mean, and that's rugby league catching up with the youngster, isn't it? I mean, you know, you didn't get to play as many games as what you really wanted to at the Tigers. And it was sort of a little bit ended through some injuries. Yeah,
I think my major injury at West Tigers I had was the shoulder reconstruction. That hindered me a little bit, and just not being able to do a proper pre-season, get myself right, and yeah, it just kind of went downhill from there, and just things weren't panning out, and being a young guy as well, thinking it's the end of the world when you have an injury like that. But
so 2013's a change. Tim Sheens is on the way out. The club's looking for a little bit of a new direction. You've got Braithen Astor coming, you know, Bodine Thompson and a few other guys are arriving. But I guess for yourself, you're thinking, I'm looking for a new change. And England seems to be the opportunity to go that way. Is that where it was for you?
Yeah, 2013 was probably one of my toughest years.
Yep.
Yeah, like you said, Tim Sheens was on the out, and new coach stepped in and changed a few things, which pretty much shocked the playing group. And 2013 as well, I lost my best friend, Big Moses, and I definitely was looking for a fresh start, and going to England was one of the best decisions I ever made. Just to start all over and kind of reinvent myself.
Yeah. You also have a good experience and a bad experience in 2013. You play at the Rugby League World Cup for Tonga, but you only get the one hit up, and then injuries sort of knock you about there as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, no, I was just looking forward to representing Tonga on the big stage for the first time.
Is it against Scotland?
Scotland, yeah.
Yeah.
Come off the bench, took the first hit up, and I did my syndesmosis. I was pretty much out for the rest of the World Cup, but got to enjoy it again in 2017, which was a lot better.
Yeah, different experience, yeah, for sure. So we missed a little bit of time there. After the Tigers, you actually head out to Penrith for a little bit with Louis Brown and a couple of the guys there. But that's only a reasonably short-term sort of stay until you decided to head to England.
Yeah, I think I went halfway through 2014. I spent a year and a half with Penrith. To be fair, it was probably... it's one of the best clubs I've been to. Just about the culture and the playing group that I was there with. Really looked after me as soon as I got there. So had got close with Ronnie Palmer. He was the trainer there, so it was pretty good.
And it was Ivan Cleary's first stint at Penrith then at the time as well. So they had a transition with a lot of young guys coming through, you know, Matty Moyland and a couple of older guys as well, Bryce Cartwright, that sort of Penrith crew.
Yeah, we also had Jamie Soward, which was a good role model for us boys, and Siggy Yara as well. Ivan Cleary was a good coach. Always had time for you, so it was awesome.
The step to the UK, to Salford to start with, a bit of a jump into the unknown. I mean, there's a couple of guys here, Daniel Vito, couple of guys like that you could chew the fat with and what have you. But a whole new experience, huh?
Yeah, it was a whole new experience. Kind of said to myself before I left, don't go in half-hearted. I wanted to make sure I did a decent job, and I was going over with familiar faces and Rob Louis and Tim Sheens. So, hooked up with Tim Sheens again and Robbie Louis, which made the transition a bit easier.
Salford have never really set the world on fire in the English competition. It's been about the big clubs. Warrington have pushed their way in over the last couple of years, but Salford have always sort of struggled to get to the top half of the table, really.
Salford was always middle or bottom tier, from what I heard of when I first went over. But I think Salford really hit their strides 2017, and we were finishing top of the table, coming towards the back end of the season, which was good. And it was the first time they ever made a semi-final in Challenge Cup as well.
Yeah.
But after that, we didn't really kick on and finish off strong. So a bit disappointing in that area.
Yeah. And then Warrington's been like, it's been a massive step. I mean, you become a crowd favourite. They love your style of play, they love your aggression, they love the way you can actually hold the football and play. And Steve Price, I guess, has taken huge steps with the club. But they make a song about you and they start singing about Ben Murdoch-Masila, 1, 2. I mean, I shouldn't sing it, should I? He doesn't give the ball away. Eh?
Don't get me to sing either. No, but that was just the fans over there. It's just awesome, man. I'm sure you know about that too. But yeah, Warrington. I enjoyed my time there, man. I loved it. The club, just the way the club run.
Yeah.
All the guys that was there. We had Kari Luluwai there as well, which made everything easier, man. He just knew how we poly boys were, and just got us out of our comfort zone just to make everything easier. But had some good players there too, which helped out. Blake Austin, Sitaleki Akawala.
Yep.
So yeah, enjoyed my time there.
Yeah, and like Bryson Goodwin, Tyrone Roberts, there's been a whole heap of the guys go through. I mean, all the stories that come out of Warrington are pretty successful ones. You get to the big dance sort of like 3 times basically in your career, but you don't really nail it until the 3rd one, do you? I mean, you get to play at Wembley the first time, and I think you go down to Catalans, you know what I mean, who'd come across that in the Challenge Cup, and then or Challenge Cup, and then you in the Super League 2018 at Old Trafford, you go down to Wigan, okay, one of the big clubs, but then finally in 2019 in the Challenge Cup, you're back at Wembley, and that one's got to be something that doesn't leave the memory bank.
Yeah, that's that lead up, the week towards the Challenge Cup. There was just learning about the history of the cup as well was awesome, and the club in that area was great, man. They offered to fly out the family just to come watch the game.
Wow.
So everyone come over, and I just from that moment I just felt good and felt like no one was going to stop us. So to come out of that win and the feeling after, man, was just, you just kind of replay all the tough moments that you've had in your life, and it all just leads to one moment. But yeah, that was awesome.
I mean, and your opponent that day, St Helens, with Justin Holbrook, they'd been the best team for like 2 or 3 seasons, and built up to it. So, sometimes they don't get the fairy tale, but there was a lot more heart and soul to Warrington over the last 2 or 3 years leading up to, with the losses they'd had. That all plays a part.
Yeah, St Helens was the dominant, like you said, for the last 2-3 years, and the 2 games leading up to that we played them, we got pretty much thrashed from them, and we just pretty much had nothing to lose walking into that final, and they had everything. So I think they just felt the pressure, and we just knew on that day we weren't getting beat. We did everything that we needed to, and especially in those kind of games, everyone kind of finds another gear, and we did that. Yeah.
and Ben Murdoch-Masila turns into a try-scoring freak. Tell us about your try.
Yeah, I haven't missed it. The Challenge Cup at Wembley. I scored against Catalans and scored again against St Helens, but yeah, I had a different half. Blake Austin wasn't able to play that game, and I had one of the back rowers as my half, and I was thinking, oh mate, how am I going to get through this game? But he actually set me up with a try, and mate, we didn't look back from there. Yeah.
Righto, a new coach, some new faces here at the Warriors. I guess an opportunity for the Warriors to build on what they did last year in difficult circumstances. It's been fun since you've been here in Tamworth. I mean, Tamworth to Terrigal, and then moving on.
No, so far it's been awesome. I was a bit worried coming into camp, new faces, and but I was quite surprised that that there is a lot of new faces besides myself. So I take that in great comfort as well. When everyone's learning, everyone's working hard to find those spots in the team, and that's how great teams are made. Everyone competing for spots and stuff like that. But the boys are great. Coach is good. He's just like one of the boys. He loves to crack a joke, but when it comes down to the crunch, he's a tough man. Yeah.
The pack for 2021 looks to be something that's the Warriors haven't had for a few years. A lot of size, but a lot of skill too. So when you watch last year and you see Tohu Harris, the way Tohu played, and then the rise of Jermaine Tanoa-Brown and also Eli Katoa. I mean, bring in Kane Evans, bring in yourself, bring in Adam Fanua-Blake. We got some real sort of heart and soul there that can do something in this competition. That's the way I look at it. It's so exciting. Is that how you see it? I mean, you're right in amongst it.
It's scary.
Yeah.
I think teams will be definitely looking at us, the size of the boys, and not so much the size, but just the way they move too. They're agile, they're mobile, like you say, they're skillful as well. And I didn't catch many games while I was over in UK watching the NRL, but just watching the boys at training, how they run around, and that just been away for too long.
Yeah.
It's scary what they can do, and pretty much our forwards are the fittest in the squad too, so it's good.
I mean, I know you haven't had long, but has Brownie sort of set the standard and got round to everyone and told them sort of what he expects from everyone for this season, or is that coming?
Still coming, still in process, but he's a man that knows what he wants, and it's good to hear that coming from a coach. So we know what to expect as well. A lot of hard work and that, but being in this environment as well, we're living and breathing rugby league I think is going to help us.
Yeah.
And we're gelling quite fast with a lot of new faces. I think that's important as well.
I'll just take you back to a quick story. You were telling me that in that 2012 junior Kiwi side, in the junior Kangaroos was Kane Evans, who you resume acquaintances with here in Tamworth, but you got into a scuffle and had a fight with him in that game when he was playing there. And Tohu Harris as well, you could rib him a little bit for it.
Yeah, I think I took a hit up, and I think he caught me up high or something, and I just saw red and threw the ball at him. And then him being so tall, he kept me at reach. We started a fight, he kept me at reach, and I tried to get in on him, and he just got me up a 1-2. But I think he forgot, and I reminded him a few days ago, and we just had a big laugh about it. So it was quite funny.
Yeah. Well, Ben, you were, when you signed with the Warriors for this opportunity to come home, as in home in Aotearoa, you expected to be back in Auckland. Looks like you might not get back there for a little while, but it doesn't seem to have fazed you.
No, what I want to be, the reason why we came back as well, be with family, and family's all over here in Sydney, which is making it a bit easier. But I can't wait to get back to NZ, just to set up and see other family as well. The wife's got a lot of family back home, so I'm sure she's looking forward to seeing them again as well.